What's up, everybody? So, um, there's a lot of exciting things to talk about. I'm smiling goofily because it's been a great week. Um, Graduated from Full Sail recently, so it's been pretty cool. Um, the reason that I am doing this video is primarily to review Godzilla. Spoiler alert: it was awesome. Um, I also want to talk about some breaking news that literally just happened as I was sitting down at my computer for this. We have a title for the upcoming sequel to Man of Steel that features Ben Affleck as Batman, so I will be talking about what the title is and also whether or not I think that was the most appropriate title they could have gone for. And also, this week, there were some interesting developments in the world of music as Michael Jackson's estate released his second posthumous CD, and I will be reviewing whether that was better than the 2010 CD, which not many people seem to remember happening, but it was a thing. So, anyhow, I'll go ahead and get started so that this isn't too long. So, Godzilla. I feel like as a kid, there were maybe a handful of movies that defined my childhood: Beauty and the Beast, Rocky, Jurassic Park, and then, maybe a few others, Lion King. As an 8-year-old, I really like monster movies, and I liked all the old Godzilla movies, and King Kong vs. Godzilla was probably my favorite monster movie of all time. So in 1998, as an 8-year-old, I go to see the Roland Emmerich film, which we all now sort of jokingly refer to as a travesty, but at the time, as an 8-year-old, it was awesome. He was huge. Fire breath. Now that I'm older, I realize it was pretty bad, but, at the time. So, we never really got a sequel unless you count that really goofy animated series, which I don't. So for about the last 16 years, I've just sort of been waiting with bated breath for another Godzilla movie, and it has finally arrived. So, last Thursday, I went to partake in the new movie, which stars Bryan Cranston, and Aaron Taylor Johnson, and Elizabeth Olsen. So, I sit down to watch the movie, and the opening credits start, and it's kind of like the, nuclear, sort of atomic testing from the 1940s, and I'm thinking, oh no, he's gonna be an iguana again. Fortunately, that's not it, and it was the only time in the movie that I had any doubts. It was awesome. It was a slow burn film, and what I mean by that is it takes its time to establish the characters, to establish the world of characters and the plot. It kind of goes at a deliberate pace, but it's not bang, 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 this, and this, roar, fighting monsters. It's more of a Spielberg-esque kind of deal. It reminded me of Jaws, and what I mean by that is you don't see the shark a lot in the first Jaws, and you don't see Godzilla a whole lot until the end of this movie, which is awesome. There's a sense of anticipation. It's really kind of the suspense is actually really there. The director did a great job with that. Visually, it's gorgeous. There's some great shots in the movie. The paratroopers coming down, but the red smoke, that was awesome. Some people thought it was a little bit boring. I disagree. I think what they're trying to articulate is that the second act of the movie, which is nestled in between a really good first act that has Bryan Cranston in it, and then the second act, which is a little bit slower, and there's not Godzilla, and then the third act is like awesome. So I would say that, yeah, the second was a little slow, but it was pretty cool. It made like $100 million domestically this weekend, and it made like another $100 million overseas. So you know what that means? It's already official. Sequel is greenlit, which means maybe we can get some other iconic Toho characters in the sequels. Maybe. A lot of people may not know this. Toho retains all of the rights to those, so Legendary had to pay to use Godzilla, which is why you didn't see any of the other big figures in this movie, and they're probably going to have to end up paying a lot more to use other characters, from the Toho pantheon of big monsters that he could potentially fight in future sequels, though they have said that they were looking into maybe a Destroy All Monsters or Monster Island direction for the sequel, maybe. We'll see. It kind of felt like Batman Begins for Godzilla. I mean, it's an origin, lets you know who he is, establishes as a hero, epic fight. Then it just kind of is like, boom, and leaves you feeling like, all right, I want more of this. So, awesome job by Gareth Edwards, the director, and everyone involved. It was great. I give it a B+. And the reason I don't give it an A, there were two kind of like things about the movie. One is Ken Watanabe's one facial expression that pervades the entire movie. Okay, this is Ken Watanabe the entire movie, in every scene, in every situation. Let them fight. That's Ken Watanabe. He was channeling Russell Crowe from Noah. And then Bryan Cranston. Spoiler alert. I'm not joking. I'm about to have a major spoiler for the movie. If you don't want to hear it, skip like 30 seconds in the video. Because, spoiler alert, Bryan Cranston dies, like, at the end of the first act of the movie, which was really weird. And then Aaron Taylor Johnson couldn't really... There's nothing, like, wrong with him, but he couldn't really carry the movie by himself that well, so that was kind of a bummer. But, it is what it is. And considering that no one else dies, I guess it makes sense that Bryan Cranston would go. They probably couldn't afford to pay him for the rest of the movie. But, okay. So, Batman vs. Superman movie that we've all been waiting for a title for. This is the one that stars Ben Affleck as Batman. We got pictures of the Batmobile and of the Batsuit recently, which were pretty cool. They kind of look like Frank Miller's version in The Dark Knight Returns, which, yeah, that's awesome. Hopefully we'll get better pictures of that, and we'll get some pictures of Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, hopefully soon. But the official title for the movie, after much ado and much debate online as to what it might be, is Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice. So Justice League begins. I wasn't a huge fan of literally calling it Batman versus Superman, but, it makes sense from a marketing standpoint. Batman, Superman, that's going to bring in people, If you had called it, like, Man of Steel, Battle of the Night, or some of the other rumors, would have been a little ambiguous. Some of us on the slower end of things might not have gotten it. But I think, all in all, Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice is a cool title. It lets us know there will be an antagonistic thread, as well as a setting up of the eventual Justice League movie, which was confirmed last month. Looking forward to that. Two more things, briefly. I've finished Breaking Bad recently, and I'm rewatching it now. And I've heard a lot of people talking about what they took away from Breaking Bad, and I'm not sure they were paying attention to the show. That's what I'll say. So I'm thinking, and I've never done this before, but I'm thinking about doing a television review of the entire series of Breaking Bad, and I don't mean of every episode. I mean a general 15 to 20 minute video discussion of the major themes of Breaking Bad and the character of Walter White. So if anyone is interested in watching that, please let me know. Comment, message me. Let me know on the YouTube page, whatever, Facebook, however. I don't want to do it if like nobody's gonna watch it or care, but if there's one person out there that would like to hear my opinion on that, then I'll do that. Also, the Michael Jackson CD Xscape, which is it's basically, you can buy it. It's 8 tracks that he had finished vocals for, but never released, spanning from the 80s through the 90s through just a few years before he died. And they're all terrific. They're excellent songs that could have worked on any of his albums. He just couldn't fit them in, apparently. But Rodney Jerkins and Timbaland and L.A. Reid and a couple of other people got together, kind of contemporized the songs a little bit, and put out this album. It's great. There's a deluxe edition that has a making of documentary and the original 8 songs before the new producers kind of put their own remixes on the songs. It's great. I recommend you get it. It's, from a Michael Jackson fan, probably the best Michael Jackson CD in 20 years probably. It's really good. And much better than the 2010, the first posthumous CD that they did, Michael, which was okay, but it was Michael Jackson, but they had to hire backing people to come in and fill in the gaps because he hadn't quite finished some of those songs yet, vocally or musically. So that's not a bad one. If you've never heard it, I would recommend looking that up. I'm sure it's like $1 on Amazon, but this one, Xscape, is what it's called. It's in stores everywhere. I know that Walmart was almost sold out of it when I went the other day. So it's selling well. So I hope you guys check that out. The first single from it, Love Never Felt So Good, which there's a remix of that with Justin Timberlake, and there's an awesome video. You can look that up online. It's great. The voices blend well. So if anyone saw the Billboard Music Awards, I believe it was, with the hologram of Michael Jackson, Slave to the Rhythm, the song he was singing, which was recorded in the early 90s, that is actually on this album. So, awesome. Alright, go check out Godzilla. I will be back in a week or two with a review of X-Men Days of Future Past, which opens tomorrow night. All of you guys better rush out and see that, because that's going to be awesome.